Y'all want to know who ain't in them Epstein files? Ain't no black people in them Epstein files. Ain't no Latinos in them Epstein files. Ain't no illegal immigrants in no Epstein files. Ain't no Haitians who are eating dogs and cats in them Epstein files. Ain't no illegal immigrants in no Epstein files. But you know who was in them Epstein files? A bunch of white men. A lot of white men. 99% of them are white men who are in them Epstein files. That's why they don't want to release them. But you don't see no illegal immigrants in there, do y'all? Ain't no Barack Obama or Kamala Harris in them files, none of that. Y'all don't see none of that, do y'all? Y'all just see white men in those Epstein files. Powerful white men in those Epstein files. So why wouldn't Democrats want to release the files as MAGA say?
D.L. Hughley just dropped some bombs, some knowledge right now. You know what he said? He said, you know who's not on the Epstein list? No black people, no immigrants, no trans, no drags. And you know what? That is so true. You're not going to find no DEI hires on that Epstein list because you know what? It's a middle-aged white man's game. The largest demographic of sex offenders are middle-aged white men. And I'm not even making that up. That's like actual statistics. And if you support this, like D.L. Hughley says, you have a favorite pedophile.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Maren.
And I'm Maureen. So in today's episode, you're going to be talking about a topic that a black man brought onto the internet, and he realized that out of the Epstein files, a lot of them, names that were coming out of those files were white men. And he's just gonna be talking about the relationship of the files and MAGA supporters.
Right guys, I feel like today's speakers are really giving us a lot to think about, and the Epstein file saga, I feel like it's just getting worse, and this is just proof that people can never really see from the same point of view, which is quite sad. Let us know what you think about this video in the comment section. Also consider subscribing if it's your first time here, and we'll just give our commentaries when we come back. For now, let's watch and then we come back.
Bill Clinton, go get Freaky Bill all y'all want to. We do not care. But we know our people are not in them Epstein files. No blacks, no Latinos, no Asians, no Mexicans, no Indians. But you know who's in there? Trump and all his white friends, all them powerful people who traffic young girls are white men. And that's why they don't want to release those Epstein files. Tell me if I'm wrong, y'all. Tell me if I'm wrong. Do y'all know anybody that's not white that's in those Epstein files, y'all? So release the damn files, and MAGA don't use, we don't want the files released. Them ain't our people. Those ain't our people. So we need everybody accountable for their actions. But we know who in them files, y'all. All white men. All white men.
Well, it's nice to know that these MAGA predators are coming out of the woodworks. The predator-in-chief has given them a platform and has enabled them to come out and be bold about their stance and their ideology about grace. But for those of you that don't know, Dean Withers is a large content creator. He's a political debater here on TikTok and on other apps as well. And a day or two ago, he had a maggot go up to his panel and ask a question about grace.
Are you asking me why it's wrong to rape children?
Yeah, I need you to tell me why it is wrong in your eyes
To
do that. Yes. Do you need me to repeat it? Can you not hear me? Do you have too many cocks in your ears, or what's up? Why is it wrong? Is that too hard of a question? You can mute me.
I need TikTok to do me a big favor. We need to make this account famous. As an SA survivor myself, it is my duty to expose these types of accounts, all of these beta males that hide behind these accounts and think that it's justifiable. They think that their comments and the way that they speak on social media have no consequences. TikTok, you all know what to do. Share this video, like it, place it on other apps, do what you have to do. And every single time these beta males come out of the woodworks on social media, it is our job to screen record this and make sure that their accounts become famous and let the whole world know where they stand on this. This is predatory criminal ideology if this person isn't a predator already. And I'm pretty sure their employers would want to know who they have working for them.
Let's say you're right. I'll grant that you're right, and he's on the list and all the things, and you're right about all the accusations you've been making. Why is it wrong that he did those things?
Are you asking me why it's wrong to rape children?
Yeah, I need you to tell me why it is wrong in your eyes
To rape children.
to do that. Yes. Do you need me to repeat it? Can you not hear me? Do you have too many cocks in your ears, or what's up? Why is it wrong? Is that too hard of a question?
It's happening. It's actually happening.
Why don't you actually answer the question?
It's actually happening.
No, because I asked the question. Why are you?
I didn't think this one would happen. You know, we see it often. They'll say that something's wrong, and then Trump will do it, and then they'll defend it. Did that with J6. Did that with the J6 pardons. Did that with the Medicaid cuts. Did that with the SNAP cuts. Just didn't think they'd do it with child rape.
Obfuscating. Let's just get to the fucking point, bro.
I just didn't think they'd do it with child rape. And now we're seriously at that point where Trump supporters are now saying that it's not wrong to rape children and asking why it is wrong to rape children.
Hey guys, so the evidence has become so damning on Donald Trump that his supporters are now saying, what's wrong with grading children? Can you tell me what's wrong with grading children? That's the state that we're at. I need every single MAGA voter to understand this is you. Whether you don't believe in that sort of sentiment or not, if you still support Donald Trump, that's what you support. You are on the side of f***ing grade.
So guys, welcome back. He did say and he did point out that in the Epstein files, so far, the names that are coming out of that file, there are no immigrants in that book, and there are no black people in that book, right? And when Trump was running for office, he said that America, crime has skyrocketed because of immigrants, right? And also, white America usually tends to think that crime is in America because of black Americans. Yet, when you see this file, according to the names that are being released, are of rich white men who are committing these crimes, right? And somebody once said, and a lot of people are now saying it, that something is only wrong until a white person does it, and worse off until a rich white person does it. And this has propelled even some MAGA supporters, like the caller we saw in the podcast, calling a podcast and even saying that they see no wrong in a man raping a child.
Right, guys, and this just makes you think, right? What are some of the despicable things that the elite do and get away with them? Because it's a crime also if a poor person does it. Because can you imagine a poor white man or black woman who has such a rap sheet, the same that Donald Trump has? Do you believe that this person would be walking the streets? I feel like the elite also get away with so much that we cannot even begin to talk about. And also, let's talk about the statements I said in the opening introduction. I said that this is something to note that the brother brought forward, which is good, because when you compare the ratio of things like these Epstein files and you compare to what black men who are elite have done, I feel like the ratio does not even compare, because I'm thinking about also Didi, and it's just fair we mention him because the behaviors are the same, right? And I'm asking myself, how many Epsteins are there and how many Didis are there, and how many of them get away with such things?
Right. And also another thing I wanted to say is the man who called the podcast, I don't think such men should ever be allowed anywhere near children, and they have no business having children themselves, because if someone has a rotten mind like this, then where is America heading? Because right now such men have started to think that grape is such a normal thing that should have no consequences.
Right. I don't know if some people just skipped school or they just need to be told step by step why things are wrong and why you shouldn't, as a grown adult, you are the adult in this situation, why they shouldn't be doing some things. And if he went to school in any way and understood his biology, he would know that a child's body is very different, and most especially because it's only just developing as they grow. So when you talk about children, everything of theirs is very delicate for you to be even thinking selfishly along those lines, you know. And what I've always said, we should try also and look at behavioral patterns beginning with history. I normally say history informs the present and it also informs the future, right? And when you talk about these stereotypes that blacks are the savages, they're the violent ones, everything bad that is happening out there, a black person has to be at fault, and that is the system that was created. Why don't we ever talk about the historical things that black people went through in the hands of white people and why it's still affecting today's society? Because some people say it happened long ago, but I have to say that this behavioral pattern that you can recognize down generations, and you can trace these things back to their ancestors. You'd be surprised to know, guys, that there's a video we found, or some information we found, about two white men who were arrested because they were planning to go and colonize Haiti. Where is that thought coming from? And we also have to look at why a certain group of people are behaving the way they're doing and with so much entitlement, right? And you trace it back to their ancestors, and that is what I'm calling behavioral pattern.
Right. And it doesn't matter at this point whether they are rich white men or poor white men. I do believe that most of them it is instinctual for them to think the way this man is doing, at least most of them, because the only difference between rich white men and poor white men is the ability of how the rich white man's power and money can protect them, because these are the kind of people that could have been arrested a long time ago had they been poor. And right now you ask yourself, will this situation ever get resolved? Of course not in the longest time to come, especially if women will never be in positions of leadership or power. Because right now, guys, tell me something. Do you think each and every one of the names in the Epstein files would ever exist or would inspire other white men to do the behavior they're doing if there was a law that came out that mandated rapists to be castrated? I do believe that behavior can end, but since rich people are protecting themselves, this is why they feel like they can get away with such behaviors.
Right. And also you look at what used to happen a long time ago in terms of things to do with incest and whatnot, you know, and you look at how it used to be prevalent, and I'm not talking about in the white community, but if you compare the ratio, that is why it was most prevalent, because that kept on going even past where people had gotten away with harmful traditions, you know. But there's even a town in America where it's known for that, you know. And you ask yourself, can these people ever be normal to a point where they can be able to reason like normal human beings? And these are the type of people who look at President Trump and they see like he's just the perfect man. He can never do no wrong, you know. And I'm asking myself, if the road starts at the top and the most elite in a country are allowed to do sinister things, then how are these people supposed to be forming a governing law that is supposed to be speaking to the normal person or the common person? And then you ask yourself, why is it that if you commit a crime, you have to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, whereas rich people can just sit on top of their wealth and just get away with literally anything, you know? But that is why you say, I don't know if you could call that white privilege, or you could call that the wealth privilege, you know, because you can try and separate these two, but I feel like if you're white, even better. And we also have to look at the number of PD, you know, in America, who has the greatest, what is it called, percentage when you look at that? Because a lot of the people who are arrested for harming kids, a lot of the people who are caught with cons in their phones, a lot of these people, they belong in what community? The moment you start addressing these issues, that is when you're going to try and put up a stop to these problems. But for as long as society keeps on ignoring these ills in society, then this is something that is not gonna be able to be stopped, because people are looking at them like it's normal. Therefore, who gets hurt? That little child or those vulnerable people in the society, you know.
Right, and this is not to say that it is only exclusively to the white community that this kind of crimes happen. Of course, we are saying that it happens across all communities, and the biggest portion of people who commit this kind of crime are white people. Why? I do feel personally it's because of their white privilege that when they are caught, they're either given a small punishment, or some of them, if you're wealthy enough, you manage to get away with it.
Right, and the problem is right there, because for the black community, it's advertised for everybody to see, but for the white community, unfortunately, it doesn't get talked about as more often as it should, or they don't broadcast it the way they used to do with black people. But right now we have the internet. Maybe that is gonna change the situation or circumstances, and maybe that is what is gonna bring shame to some of these people, because whoever does this lacks the presence of shame. That is why they can be able to act like that and just go on about their business like it's just a normal day, you know. But guys, let us know what you think about this video in the comment section. Also consider subscribing if it's your first time here, and we'll catch you on our next episode.